else doing today? I hope you're doing well. We are headed to Heritage Farm Museum and Village, which was established in 1996 by Michael and Henrietta Perry, and it's an actual entire frontier village named West Virginia's first Smithsonian affiliated museum, and I'll tell you more about that. But I'm on my way, and I drive through this area a lot. This is High Drive in Huntington, West Virginia, and I wanted to show you this house. You can see it from the top of it from down on the main road. I had to drive up here and look at it, but isn't this incredible? I'm trying to see. This is 280 High Drive. And this house looks like the Biltmore. I think it was built in the 1920s. I will find out and put it at the bottom of the screen. But there are a lot of really cool homes in Huntington. Someday, I'm going to drive through and just tell you about some of the homes, because most of them were built in the early 1900s. There's actually, I've gotten online and looked before, there's a pool back there. It's really hard to tell, but there's some cool houses on this road. We've reached our destination, and we're actually at 3300 Harvey Road in Harveytown. This is the Pioneer Hall. Right here it says admissions and registration, cafe, gift shop, office, artisan center, Pioneer Hall, and the Barn Retreat. There's actually 7 museums and 15 log structures. They have an adventure park with zip lining, a mountaintop drop, rock climbing, and an ATV riding area. They have a petting zoo. I did check on the prices online, and you can get on their website. It'll tell you everything, the hours, the cost, what's here. I see some goats up there. But if kids under 3 are free, 4 to 10 is $10. If you're 11 to 17, it's $12. 65 and up, it's $14. And from 18 to 64, it's $17. So I fall in that category. So we're gonna go on in and get our ticket. So we're in the registration office, but I was gonna let you look around a little bit. It's also a gift shop. And they have handmade glassware. I bet some of that is actually Blinko, where we had just come from several weeks ago.
And you might find
They have a soda shop. Oh my goodness. Fountain floats, slushies, fountain drinks, and they have iced coffee. I'm definitely going to get that. Let's go on through and get our ticket first.
Yeah. You got it? Yeah.
So right here is the ticket office. Just wanted to let you know, and I think this is more of a girl thing, they have really nice clean restrooms in there. Now, some of these attractions you have to pay extra to go in. This is saying the Artisan Center. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Are you spinning?
I'm spinning flax right now. And this is some flax that we actually processed last Saturday here over in the field. And so I'm trying to spin it. It's not as fine as what I normally would have, but we were learning on how to process it. This grows in great big stalks, and it looks like hay almost when we have it. And we want these inner, finer fibers. And so we have to break it with a great big, I call it a machine, but a break. And then we have to put it through different combs, hackles, and then we can tie it up and I can spin from it.
It looks like a horsetail.
It does, doesn't
it? And what do you make out of this?
This becomes linen. This is flax. That's linen.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yes. My apron is linen. Now it's a rougher toe linen, and this will be a rougher just because of the processing that I'm not getting a real fine fiber here, but
well, thank you for sharing. That's
You're very welcome.
Interesting. Now this is the Artisan Center. My goodness, there's a lot of looms in here. Are you making something?
Of course.
What are you making? Can we see? Do you care?
I'm making really angels.
Okay.
This is the head, but this is the small one. This is the medium. There's the large ones.
Okay. I'm going to show everyone what the final product is. These look to be handmade quilts. These two were created by Martha Jane Galloway, who was born in 1889 near Wheeling. She lived most of her early years in this area. And these are quilts that she had done. I wonder if you'd love to purchase an old handmade quilt. They have bathrooms everywhere, guys. Really nice bathrooms. Looks like these are just display, not for sale. Feed sack fabric. My mother said that her grandmother would sew their dresses out of feed sack. And see, you think feed sack was ugly, but back in those days during the Second World War, they made feed sacks very elaborate so people could do that very thing because everyone was so poor, they had to make their clothes out of feed sacks. Now, this map is going to show you where, you want to go. So it'll kind of give you an idea. You can plan your day. Don't you love coming places like this? Because you just feel it's like another day in time, especially with what's going on around the country, that this is just so peaceful. And I do hear some pounding up here. So I think the blacksmith, and I see smoke, so I think he's in residence. So let's go check it out. Yep, blacksmith on duty. Look at this old church. Appalachian House of Prayer, all welcome. It's open. We've got to go in and see that.
The church was built out in Lincoln County in 1850 when we were still part of Virginia.
Oh, okay.
And it is good that when we do things that God wants us to do, He stays with us.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So can we go in and take a look?
Yes, you may. The piano and the organ were donated to the Presbyterian, and and if you notice, we have, you'll want to take a picture of the three that represents, of course, this is where the pastor and the deacon and the song leader would have sat. But the whole thing about the three chairs is we have the Trinity. God is three in one.
Well, this is really pretty. Do they still have service in here?
Occasionally, they still do very many special events, and they don't have service on a regular basis since Mike died. Well, they did have his service, and they still do. Particularly, one of the things that they do, they'll do like an anniversary where they repledge and then go out and have their anniversary dinner.
Now, this is a blacksmith shop.
Right all together, right out on the end of here. Yeah. Welcome to the force. How are you?
Fine, how are you all?
Pretty good.
I'm gonna watch him here a little bit.
How are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm making it.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna watch you here a little bit.
That's what I'm making.
What are you making?
Oh, I'm working on hopefully what's going to be a little tomahawk.
Oh.
Take an old farrier's file. It's just an old file. It's kind of worn out, so I figured I'd try to repurpose it. Turn it into something.
So you have to use the bellows to blow to keep the fire going back there.
To get the heat we need.
I gotcha.
Yep. Yeah, and if you don't blow it for a couple hours, it would go out.
Okay. Very interesting. I'm going to come around here. Are you doing anything? You're just watching today.
I'm gonna make sure these hooks are not
Okay.
hang plants on the front porch.
Oh, okay.
The bellows, you can really get a lot of heat out of the fire. Pump it, get enough heat to melt the steel. Yeah, you gotta have the heat blast or the air blast, or it won't be hot enough.
Very interesting. I'm going to look around here. Looks like a cannon. Are you making something?
I am actually making pipes right now. I usually make spoons and other things, but I'm carving pipes.
Okay.
And
Very interesting. I guess I'll go on in, and this is the old store?
this is the country store, absolutely.
Okay.
Country store began with the country peddler coming across the mountains bringing things that you needed, but as more people move in, he builds the country store. Now this came at a time when you were doing less farming and less livestocking, so farm fresh produce, sewing products, tobacco products, pick up your mail, make a phone call. Later on we added the apothecary drugstore, the millinery shop, the meat market, and the hardware department.
So this was where you would come for everything.
Come for everything, somewhere between 1880 and about 1940. So not everything would have been here at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But it was based upon each unique community.
Mm-hmm. Looks like the post office over there.
Yes.
It's very interesting. I'm going to walk over and show him the apothecary. Pharmacy.
Yes. Well, it is the apothecary, but we... Dr. Humphreys probably started the prescription drug industry, identified several common ailments of the day, prepackaged the medication, and assigned a number to it so you could order by number.
Yeah, it says fevers, worms, teething,
Yeah.
diarrhea. That's so interesting. Probably works better than what we've got today.
Probably so. They were all natural ingredients too, so it
Yeah.
makes us think that probably they were at least safe for you.
Yeah.
Not as many side effects.
Yeah. Looks like some. Did they sell clothing back then?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Because at a certain point in time, you may not have time to sew anymore, or you may not even know how to sew, and so this transitioned you to that. But we still sold you the needles and threads, the fabrics, if you still were sewing.
Okay. And it looks like over here, didn't they sold appliances?
Yeah, we sold appliances. We would
Okay.
sell you an iron stove, or we would sell
It
you
looks good.
silverware.
Is that a dishwasher?
Yeah,
Or is that?
it's a washing machine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The old
Now,
radio.
In our Progress Museum, we do have a dishwasher in the 1925 kitchen. It was hand cranked, but it's still, you could wash dishes.
Coffee maker?
Those are coffee makers, and then this would be a cornmeal or grain grinder.
Okay.
If you went to the grist mill, you usually had to buy, well, like a whole bag of it, and that was too much. So we started grist milling smaller portions of cornmeal and flour.
Very interesting. And now all the stores had a potbelly stove.
Oh, yeah. Just so you know, Heritage Farm does have an app. It has all of our museums on it. It has some videos on it. It has all the different displays and allows you to dig in a little bit deeper. And then all of our mannequins have stories to tell. And so they tell you what life was like in a particular area.
This is the Transportation Museum. Let's take a look inside. And look at these carriages. Oh my goodness. I don't know what the 1910 Sears High Wheeler. And that is a 1915 Model T. I never know if they're A's or T's.
That one's a T,
Okay.
and there's a truck back here that's a TT.
Okay. Oh, and they've got some film here. It was on a minute ago. There you go. Them manufacturing the cars, I guess, on the assembly line, the Ford Motor Company. I'm thinking. Wow, these are incredible.
This particular one is a Sears.
Okay.
So they would order the parts and then assemble them themselves.
Whoever purchased it, you'd have to assemble it. Okay.
And over in the Progress Building, there's like a couple of older catalogs, and you can see the parts and how much they cost and so on. I think they were less than $500.
Isn't that something?
So,
Well, I'm going to take a look around and just see some of the. My goodness, that looks like the assembly line is what it's saying.
yeah, there's your
some things from the assembly line.
Yeah, Ford probably wasn't the first, because there were several that were making cars, but he's the one that kind of perfected the assembly line.
That's a time clock, you all. Can you imagine? Now we just log on our computer.
That's right.
Alrighty. This said a 1923 Model T. Well, she just started the train. I'm going to turn around and let y'all look at this train. It's got a little tram going in the air.
Yeah. This is what they called the Woody, and they would ship the parts from the south to the north, and this is cypress wood. So what they would do, they would disassemble the boxes and reuse the cypress wood in that. And this was primarily like a taxi cab.
Oh, look at this old gas pump. Oh my goodness. I've known Buy American Pickers. That's very expensive. And these signs, these porcelain signs, and they are pristine. Are the signs and the gas pumps authentic? They're real? Okay, my goodness. They are so pristine. You don't see them that pristine.
I always tell my students, or told my students when I would be taking the school group through, you know how at Cracker Barrel things will be manufactured to look old? These are authentic. There's nothing in here
That's really something.
yeah.
This is a 1927 Model T Ford Roadster, and this is a 1931 Model A Ford Coupe. Isn't that beautiful? Look at these bicycles.
This is called a penny farthing, and it's kind of somewhat of a status symbol, if you will. It was very hard to get up on. You had to step up on a block or whatever. But then when you wanted to stop it, there's no way to stop it except to lean forward and to jump off. So
A lot of injuries.
that's what they did, yes.
And this looks like a covered wagon.
Yeah.
My goodness.
The Conestoga wagon, it was made in Conestoga, Pennsylvania. That's how it's named.
Is this authentic?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Wonder how old that is.
You know, I'm not sure.
Now this is a picture of the, you know, the wagon trains that went across the country to discover new parts of America. This is how they traveled. Man.
You can come back right here and see. These are primarily the things that they were able to take. Just, you know, what would fit in there.
Yeah. So all of them, and I mean their whole life would be in here.
Exactly.
And mostly what you guys see are tools. That would be a priority then. Today we would be worried about our makeup, but not back then. It would be survival. Things are different. Man.
This right here is kind of an unusual thing. People will guess all kinds of things, but what it was for, you would step on this, and this is to shoo the flies away.
From your dinner table.
Yeah, so you've got the song Shoo Fly in someone.
Because you'd have to do that because you had the windows open because you didn't have air conditioning, so it was just what you had to do. And I told Mom, I said, how did you all stand it without air conditioning? And she said, we just didn't bother us.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another wagon. And this is authentic?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, Wells Fargo and Company, U.S. Mail. That's incredible. That's how the mail got through. It says it's stagecoach usage from 1852 to 1918. Everyone here is so nice. We're up in this caboose. She told me this used to be the ticket booth at Fairfield Stadium. So isn't this amazing? This is an old caboose. They've really restored it. I don't know where I guess these would have been the ticket windows. Yep, said C&O caboose that was once used as a ticket booth at Marshall University's Fairfield Stadium, home of the Thundering Herd. It was out there from 1928 to 1990. There's a lot more to see. This looks like a printing press, and he's operating it, so I'm going to ask him. Are you operating a printing press?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. I didn't really. You snuck up on me.
Sorry. Well, that's interesting. Look at that.
Well, that is a Chandler and Price Gordon press inking up.
Inking
Right
up.
now, it's just the ink has been put up here on the ink disc, and the rollers come up, and then the ink disc rotates a little bit, and they come up and go down. Eventually, the form will be put in the bed there, and every time it comes together, you put a piece of paper on the platen, print, take it off, put new sheet on, print.
So yeah, you have to be
take
pretty
it off,
fast.
put a new sheet. Yeah,
So it does one at a time.
one at a time.
Okay, and I can see where that would fit down in there, and then it would roll over the ink, roll over the paper, and then you have to take it out.
I'll be printing in a little bit, but I'm still doing the part called make ready, which is making the press ready to print. What we will be doing is something for the farm.
And this is the old soda fountain. Now, I know you guys remember this from back in the day. When you just come in and get a float. Root beer floats. There's the jukebox. Some video games. Look at this old phone booth, guys. Now this is the booth you'd sit in. Look at this old phone booth. And these old mixers. And the cool thing about it, everything in here, like that Pepsi sign, that Coca-Cola sign, that old, Coca-Cola refrigerator, these just are all authentic. Look at this. Sorry for the glare. Some of the clothes of the day. Just met the owners, very sweet people, the Perrys. They're descendants of the gentleman and his wife that started the farm, and these are some animals. It says lovable but not touchable. That is a huge turkey, man. I guess it's a female and a male. And there's some ducks. And then we also have some more antique transportation items, an old wagon, carriages, cars, and again, these things are all real. I just stepped in a hole. And it says Appalachian Adventure, so there's animals in there. I'm not gonna go in and do that. Oh, they have shows. That one starts at 11 and 2. You can see some actual bridges that you can walk on up there. He was telling me if I wanted to, he would take me to the park where they do the zip lining and the there's just a lot of athletic activity. He also mentioned that they have, you can take a wagon ride, and there's bison and I guess a large animal park. But look at these old trains. My goodness. This says the J.I. Case threshing. It's a threshing machine. Racine, Wisconsin. So this is farm equipment. Now this is Discovery Zone where the kids can play. There's also the climbing wall and the zip line. And this is a doll and carriage museum. We're going to take just a very quick look into there because most people here, the workers, say it's really exquisite.
broken.
Okay, I'm going to show you the before picture of this stroller, and she said the stroller, and this is the way it looks now, is a 1910 stroller. Now, is that for a doll or for a baby?
Would have actually been for babies.
Okay, so it's a real stroller.
Yes.
For probably somebody that was had some money.
Better off. Yes. Yes.
And then there's a wedding scene up at the top.
Yeah.
That is so cute. And she said the stained glass is from a church.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, this is pretty.
Yeah, and the winter scene, that fringe top stroller, that's one of 3 pre-Civil War era strollers.
Wow.
The
That's
other 2,
pre-Civil
they're in the
War.
other half that I could point out, but
I'll see this room. It's pretty,
the grandeur.
pretty,
This is
pretty
more Victorian
incredible.
style strollers, more Victorian style dolls as well. But
These are Victorian
We have
strollers and dolls.
canoe or gondola style stroller that from wherever they got it from, as they tried to get it to their car, people wanted to buy it from them, but they said it was not for sale.
It's an old stroller as well. Oh, and some back here are old.
Yes.
Wow.
And those 3 right there, the first one as found, that first one, how you see it there is how it was when they got it. It didn't have to be restored. And with that said though, these 3 strollers have about 10 years between each of the 3. The first one you might think would be the most recent. It actually might be the oldest, from about 1878, she said. And the middle is from about 1888. And the last is from about 1898. They're all Haywood Wakefield strollers, and the name Haywood Wakefield might have been more known for wicker furniture, but they also made strollers.
This is an impressive room.
Here is an Excelsior sleeping coach from Erie Chair Company in Erie, Pennsylvania. It's from the late 1700s to about earlier mid 1800s. And that black leather top
So this is
stroller
pre-Civil War.
War.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our time today at Heritage Farm Museum in Harveytown. It's very close to Huntington, really on the outskirts of Huntington and near Ritter Park. And if you enjoy antiques and the way life used to be and discovering our history, you would really enjoy it. And so remember that God loves you. He will never leave you or forsake you. Until I see you again, bye.